So I'll give the caveat that I think things are changing. I'm particularly noticing in the online space, but also people who are coming up to me in the street, and it's really happening regularly, saying they were really excited about the formation of your party. They were watching what I was doing closely. But actually, just even in the first week of my Green Party leadership, they've kind of said, we don't actually know what the point is in an alternative party now. It's very clear that the Green Party are a party of social, environmental, racial, and economic justice. I'm out there on the media, as are our deputy leaders and our spokespeople, talking about needing a bold politics, and not just talking about it, but demonstrating it, making sure that our every view, from challenging the two-child benefit cap, the disability cuts, and the ongoing genocide in Gaza, we are challenging all of these things. The difference between us and your party, and I'll be kind to your party in a moment, but I'm just saying out my pitch first. But the difference is we have over 800 councillors. We got nearly 2 million votes at the last election. We have 39 second place finishes. And right now we are building up to having a conference in October, which will be our biggest conference ever. This morning, we just hit 70,000 members. That's the most in our history. And I'm also hearing about the amount of donations coming from regular members that are pouring in into the Green Party since my election on Tuesday. It's an incredibly exciting, mobilizing moment for the Green Party. And so my pitch would be for anyone, um, you know, fascism is on the rise. It's not something that's distant. It's right here, right now. The climate crisis is right here, right now, as is the nature crisis. And inequality is huge. Since the pandemic, billionaire wealth in this country has doubled, whilst our public assets have been stripped away. None of these things, particularly the anti-migrant rhetoric and the experience right now of Black and brown people in this country to increasingly toxic narratives, cannot wait around for discussions. It cannot wait around for endless meetings and subcommittees and whatever it might be. There is a party right now that are saying the things that need to say, and there's a party right now that are winning the by-elections that need to be won, and there's a party right now that is determined to win more MPs, so join the Green Party. That all being said, if people aren't convinced by that, and I can't demand that people are convinced by things, but I'm noticing in increasing numbers they are. Just as we speak, I think I just said we just hit 70,000 members, our record number. Uh, if people still want to form a new movement, that's totally up to them. And rather than jump into kind of competitive politics, if we align on values, I want to see how we can work together and how we can talk together. I do think, though, it's a wasted moment in this moment when people could just join the Green Party and we could be moving so much faster. The Brighton councillors, for instance, built more social homes than have been built in Brighton, and I think have a strong record of the work they did. In terms of austerity, austerity has come from the national government, from the Conservative government, and now the Labour government, and has put councils in an incredibly difficult place. The difference that you get with Green councillors is they are literally calling out the government for it. They are pushed into a place where if the money is not given to them, then they have to make decisions. The difference between those decisions, though, and the Labour Party's decisions is it's literally the Labour government that are making those decisions to the Labour Council. So why the Labour Council is not speaking up and the head of the Labour Council and saying, this is unacceptable, we need more money for our public services. Of course, the Conservatives don't have a leg to stand on either because they were the architects of this movement, but it's particularly Labour where it's galling when we have a Labour government. More widely, I would say that parties are broad churches. And actually, some of the people who have left the Labour Party were in the Labour Party under successive prime ministers. And I'm not going to have a go at them about their record because if they voted the right way on things, then I think they're representing the politics that they stand for. Um, what I do recognise in the Green Party is that I've talked explicitly about as being an eco-populist and a socialist movement. We are a party on the left of the progressive movement, but also for those of us on the left, we cannot keep allowing the most narrow of boundaries to be what people are allowed to be if they want to be in our team. And actually, ultimately, we need to be winning the arguments and extending our solidarity to a broader base because that's how we're going to win elections. I would quibble that any Green councillor supports austerity in terms of says this is a good idea. I think what would be a fair criticism is, do we have Green councillors that I wish were bolder about challenging the reason why they're making the decision, and also with absolute clarity, complete courage, and no punches spared, really calling out the Labour government who are putting them in the impossible situation of having to decide decisions that are made. Sure, I accept that criticism, and I'm working on it in terms of empowering our councillors to speak up more against the Labour government. Well, my biggest priority is getting rid of this Labour government and stopping reform. So I want to talk to anyone who wants to build a progressive politics. I would say again, the Green Party's been around a long time. We are building and we are absolutely on the move, and we have that party structure in place. And so, if independents support environmental, racial, social, and economic justice, I do think it's time to just let go of this kind of I need to be independent because I don't want to work inside a party machine. Because actually, I'd flip the argument round. I want MPs to win who believe in teamwork, who can work with other people, even if they don't agree with everything they say, but actually recognize we are so much more as a sum of our parts than we are individually. So, if people want to be independent, that's a decision that they can make. But I do think there are consequences to that decision, as opposed to going, okay, let's see what teamwork looks like. If your party is set up, this conversation becomes easier because if people are part of your party movement, whatever it is, then those negotiations become easier because you can start to have a bit more of a reciprocal relationship about that negotiation. It's still really hard to negotiate with an independent because any independent could pop up anywhere and say, I'm absolutely convinced I can win. You need to stand down for me. You need not to run. And that is patently absurd. Like, if there is a party that is running that has funding behind it, resourcing, volunteers, and is on the move, and is presenting a strong left progressive agenda, then there does seem I'm not talking about any of the present independents, I'm talking about if new people prop up, an arrogance to going, I'm not going to join that momentum that's happening and that movement that's happening. I'm going to do this on my own. By the way, I support what they say, so they should stand down for me, but I'm doing it on my own. That is a bit silly, as opposed to going, well, let's look at how we can work together. And if there are policies you disagree with, that's fine. There's always policies people disagree with in the party, but we have a democratic structure in which you can change that policy. And if that policy is a red line for you, then you can't really expect us to stand down because that's our policy. And if it's not a red line, then it makes no sense you running independent. Just join the Green Party.